Hey gamers, welcome to the GAU podcast. I am your host, Eric RickityBeans Rubino. We have quite a show for you. Today we're going to be talking about the Titanfall Beta. But without further ado, let me introduce my co-hosts. To my right, we have Andy. How are you doing, Andy?
Not bad at all. I have a bit of a weird voice today, actually.
Ooh.
I am feeling really excited because the reason my voice is so bad is because I was screaming all night on Friday and Saturday because I've been doing one thing, and that's playing my Xbox. So that is all.
That is great
Yeah,
news.
I was doing other things on Valentine's Day, playing video games.
Playing video games
Yeah,
primarily.
exactly.
Well, I also hear that Alex is a little bit under the weather, but Alex is joining us from Skype, live from Sochi. How you doing out there, Alex?
Why do you think I'm under the weather?
isn't Sochi?
I caught
warm?
something.
Yeah, those Olympic camps, they spread diseases like no other.
Seriously, how's that toilet
Did you
treating
see
you,
how
Alex?
they punched through a door?
Yeah,
That was
bathroom.
epic.
That was insane. Hey, I can't get out of the crapper.
How else would you get out? I don't know.
I
See,
feel
that's
like
what those
Sochi's
doors
smash.
are made out of. They're made out of like cardboard.
And that guy should be amped. He's just like, he should have played it off like, yeah, that was like a 40-ton door.
Yeah, it was metal. But, all of us and a whole bunch of you guys out there make up Gamers R Us, where gaming is in our DNA. Make sure you check us out at gamersrus.com for the latest news, trailers, previews, reviews, and commentary like this on video games. Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so you get up-to-the-minute news updates. But today is February 17th, 2014, and we are coming to you live from the Microsoft Store in Boston, Massachusetts. And it's fitting that we're here today to talk about Titanfall.
Titanfall.
So the beta, I believe I received the key on Friday, and I was giddy as a schoolgirl going to boot it up. I'm sure we all were. And we're just going to give you guys our impressions on it. But why don't we just start with Andy? What do you think?
Holy cow. I honestly can't believe I'm having this much fun. I got my beta Thursday night. I went to download it. I was just like, I can't really do this right now. But just from playing the intro, playing this tutorial, I have to play this game.
Yeah,
I was like,
I know,
okay,
right?
I have to give this a shot. And then sure enough, I'm having way too much fun. 3 hours have gone by. What is going on? So that's just my initial impression before I go into anything else. It is like fun. That's just part one. How about you?
Well, see, I had trouble running it. So I got through the tutorial fine.
Okay.
I have an Intel card on my crappy PC. So I got through the tutorial. I was like, this is cool. I like all what they're doing. I got into my first match, and it was, laggy and a little bit hard to play. But after about, 5 minutes, I kind of got used to having, 20 frames per second. And I was just like, okay, at this point, I'm just going to try everything out, I call down my mech, It's fun. It's chaotic.
Yeah.
That's my initial impressions. It's fun and chaotic.
You honestly, they tried so hard to sell that it's a moment-to-moment experience about what's going on in the game. But
Yep.
I can't say I didn't have that. I mean, every second, something crazy is going
Exactly.
on. Some kind of crazy kill. Some guy from behind you. Hey, there's a mech coming in. There's some missiles going on. I'm parkouring up the stairs. It's just like it never stops. I mean,
It's true.
there's one. I mean, I was just shocked. And you're playing on PC.
Mm-hmm.
You had an issue with frame rate.
Yep.
I'm playing on Xbox One. I had issues with connections. And
Okay.
and I actually had two
Server-wide.
Yeah, server-wide, and then my Xbox crashed 3 times. I don't even know what to think, actually.
That's interesting.
They
Yeah, that's
said
odd.
yeah, it was odd. I mean, they said there's cloud processing happening with this game. I don't know if that was active while the beta was going.
It
Yeah.
probably was.
I would assume
would
that's
hope
something
so.
you
It's
test.
It's kind of
right?
built in the infrastructure of the game. It kind of has to be.
Exactly. And if that was the case, I mean, I honestly couldn't run any other games. Party chat dropped several times. In-game chat wasn't working for the beta on Xbox One. I don't know if you had the same issues in PC.
I didn't even hear anybody voice chatting, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't hear a single
No,
chatter.
I didn't hear a single one either.
We've
But
had a
then
party up
again,
the whole time.
Maybe
I had
they-
screen tearing issues, so I didn't. I played for a bit, but at times just the screen tearing for some reason. I was running on a 760M, which I know is
geez.
definitely
So-
powerful enough
Yeah,
to
there's
run.
no reason for that.
I think it's just a driver issue.
Yeah,
be.
they said that they were going to try to get these drivers out as soon as possible to run the game. I mean, the game still has, it's March 11th, so it still has, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2.5, 3 weeks
So-
left till launch.
So the only thing I would consider, if Alex is seeing screen tearing and it's 2 weeks before launch, do you think stuff like that can be fixed? Do you think they can fix
yeah.
a server expert in these 2 weeks? You think they have that covered?
The golden discs are already out. Those games are being punched out now.
Okay.
So yeah, they got some patchwork to do. You're going to see day one,
Patchwork,
obviously.
definitely, yeah.
When it comes to the PC side of things, they'll probably fix those first because they're probably facing the most issues there. And that's why Xbox 360 was pushed back. It was like, call it polish. I more or less call it this thing is screwed. I mean, that's it's fantastic to know that they're still trying to work on it and they have so much to do. But with this beta going on, they've been very risky. It's risky letting a beta out this way, and even though it's crazy popular, all the opinions are about to come out this week.
Well, that's the thing. They let rid of the NDA, so we're allowed to talk to, you're allowed to show everything. Lots of people are talking about it. Lots of people are getting into it. And I can't help but feel like this is kind of Call of Duty with mechs. The jumping is really cool. It's really fluid. But when it comes down to it, the gameplay is still a lot like Call of Duty. There's very little recoil. It's kind of like you're going to get killed if you don't turn around and get the guy. Like, if they get the beat on you, you're kind of done.
Yep.
The only thing that was really interesting is the mechs. Also, the
way you
minions,
interact
the
with
creeps.
it as well.
The way you interact with
the
the
way
Titans.
you work with your Titan feels like I have a
really
co-op
cool.
partner the whole time.
It's really cool.
And it's just, I feel like I might be getting an emotional attachment to my Titan at times. Like, you killed Phil. I'm just... if we're going to stick on weapons, so far we're talking about the Call of Duty style. I think it already copies the customization of some Call of Duty aspects. Your sights, your, different scopes, your ammo. But I don't see perks just yet, but I see burn cards.
The burn cards are
the
like
burn cards are those perks. And I'm just like, okay, guys, you can reskin anything you want to.
No, yeah, I am on your side.
But it's still the same thing.
Yeah, I get it. I was like, listen, that's just a perk with another name. I'm not upset about it. But, I mean, if you know how to play smart, you know that, we're about 3/4 of the way through the match. If I use this burn card that takes off 80 seconds to shave off my Titan, I know that even if we lose, I can take out the eliminating team by calling in my Titan immediately and hovering over the evac zone.
Yep.
Or do something like that, for example. I mean, it seems as if there's a lot of strategies that there's letting people have fun with. That's just how I see it.
Could I mention one thing, just quickly going back to the tech stuff? I was looking on Reddit, and there were people that had 660 desktop cards and things like that were having the same screen tearing issues. It might also be an issue with the Intel discrete graphics support acceleration up primary, which can sometimes cause blue screens, especially with Windows 8.
Didn't you get a blue screen on yours? A couple.
I was getting blue screens with other games,
Okay.
and then I turned off the Intel support acceleration, and then it
was fine.
Solved
It was fine.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are both on PC, so I have to ask you a couple questions about your experience playing there. I mean, your download time, everything that you
I
started
dislike
with.
Origin.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was
so
headed.
so the
That's where I was headed.
so I mean the download time. I have fast internet. I'm hardwired. It took a long time to install. Downloading was okay, but it was still, but installing it was it took forever. It took an hour to install it.
Really?
And I was like, this is crazy. It was hung on 21% for about, 45 minutes. And then it all piled in after that. I noticed the load times were really long.
Yeah, the load times were something that really bugged me.
Was
I have
you
16
had a
gigs
problem.
of RAM and an i7 in this laptop, so
Well, what
I'm
do you guys call a long load time?
Oh, it was 2 minutes, and I wrote down these have long load times. That was a long. I mean, even the tutorial, it took probably.
They
2
went through
minutes to
two
load.
load screens.
Yeah,
You went through
really?
two different load
Yeah,
screens. Yeah,
'cause
two
you go
different
through-
splashes.
Okay, I'll tell you my experience in the Xbox One. The load times were almost non-existent before the tutorial, but the load times before matches, probably 10 seconds while matchmaking at the very
That's
most.
slow. Yeah, I mean fast. Yeah, that's fast.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
No. It was 10 seconds for matchmaking for me and my party, and then before, as the game's readying up, we're, checking our ammo, or, checking weapons, customizing our pilots. We had 80 seconds, and
Yeah,
if
they give you
everyone's
a
ready
long
up, it
time.
just jumps in. So
Yeah.
that's them giving us time.
Yeah.
The load time before the match starts was probably 20 seconds at the maximum.
I would say it
mine
was definitely
was at least
slower than that.
On mine, it was at least a minute.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like at the point where I was considering like I could go get a water and come back before it was like done.
That's
did-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Halo 2 and 3 had those load times,
Yeah.
guys. You
Yeah.
know?
Now what about like I know the Xbox One kind of has long install times for their games. How long did that take?
I was sitting in front of my couch at 2:30 in the morning for exactly 31 minutes.
Okay,
31 minute install time.
It's high. I mean, it's high. It seems like I had a longer time installing it on my PC though.
Well, on my PC, actually, when it came to install, it was actually quite quick. But you know, I'm on Bell Canadian Internet, so it took quite a while to download. Thank you, Bell.
Alrighty.
Bell, worst ISP in Canada.
Well, you know, we're talking about experiences, about what happened while we played, okay? So now, obviously, this is all looking forward to a couple things. So should we, like, go down the list of what we're looking forward to? Or should we, you know, hit the magic are we going to buy it button?
No, I'd
You know?
say what I mean, I would say what we're looking forward to more because I want to I'm not going to buy this day one.
Not gonna buy day one?
I'm going to say that because I know EA, and I
That
after
game's going on
Battlefield 4, you
Oh,
really have to
man.
have some high confidence that this is going to be working day one. I don't mean to be that mean to Respawn, but EA, you gotta have this figured out.
Well, there's one thing that really bugs me here.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
Microsoft too? Then?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one thing that really bugs me here, though.
Mhm.
It's that this is supposedly a Source Engine game,
Mhm.
and there's like all this hardware compatibility issue, all these hardware
Yeah.
compatibility issues.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that because I don't know. Maybe you just need Valve to work on Source Engine stuff because, good lord, I mean, Source has been around for damn near 10 years, at least.
Yeah.
So, Alex, that means you're not a day one buyer, I imagine.
No, I'm not. Maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's the way I get a feel. What
For
do you
me,
think?
I unfortunately know retail and sales way too well, and I'm sorry, EA has got the most ridiculous pattern. I'm sorry, but this game is going on sale within the first month. I don't care if it's $10 cheaper or if it's pre-owned. I know I'm getting this game for cheaper if I literally just wait.
You
And
will, yes.
It's the truth. I'm sorry.
I mean,
it's the
somebody's going to have so many problems, they're going to return it as a used game, and you're going to be able to pick it up cheap anyway.
Exactly.
You know, like
and even
kinda-
if I don't do it that way, they'd be like, Titanfall's on sale this week.
exactly.
Let's get it in there,
You
'cause
know,
they wanna
Best
boost
Buy
those
will
numbers.
have a sale at some point on it.
I'm
you know.
sorry. I just feel that this, even though they're putting a lot of money into this one, they need to get that game into a lot of hands. 'Cause
Oh,
that
yeah.
DLC you'll see right around E3, I think.
Speaking
Yeah.
of getting it into a lot of hands, do you guys see issues having a 360 version, an Xbox One version, and a PC version? Because you kind of want to force people to the one. They should have just said, buy the one, you get Titanfall. This is kind of might hold people back from buying it on Xbox One. If you have a PC, you might not want to buy an Xbox One. It's
The thing is, though, this is a software. The thing is, though, they're not the hardware developer; they're the software developer. They're doing what's in their best interest.
But,
Right?
even now, you
Like,
can't say that because the truth is you say they're doing what's best in their best interest, but they also allowed Microsoft to buy out a $50 million buyout and not put it on the PS4,
Yeah.
which I think hurts Respawn as their first one.
It does.
Now, of course, they're using Titanfall to sell Xbox Ones. This game will sell Xbox Ones, but I don't think it's really in the best interest of Respawn right now. They're trying to move systems. They're trying to build a long-term relationship with Microsoft right now, but I don't. I feel like you've got a point, Eric. I think they should have been like Xbox One, Titanfall.
Yep.
Period.
Boom.
I
No
I
questions asked.
disagree because this thing can, if it can run essentially on 360 hardware, which it can.
Sort of.
You know, there is a lag. I mean, if we're talking about the Xbox One like next year at this time, then yeah, I'd agree. But the Xbox One just came out in November, and there are still a significant number of people that are playing the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But I think
You
the
know,
way to get people to
like-
stop is to say this is why you buy
it
the
might
new
be
console,
purely
like
financial,
Infamous,
though.
like exactly what Infamous is going to do. They're saying,
It might be
it's coming
purely
out.
financial, though.
Which is
They might
bad
be
in my
waiting.
mind. I mean,
They might be just waiting on on like having seeing it go on sale or something. You know, I think that that's a perfectly viable strategy considering the Xbox One just came out. You know, if it was a year from now, I would agree with you entirely. But since the Xbox One just came out, I think it's perfectly viable.
Let me give you a breakdown of what I see Titanfall doing for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be one of the flagship series. Like, you see Titanfall, you instantly will think Microsoft.
Well, do you have? I mean,
Yeah.
the tweet. Somebody from Respawn tweeted saying, "Only the first game is exclusive. Only the first game is exclusive."
And they
But
have to
I have a
protect
quick
themselves
question
that way.
here.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mech Warrior? It's also a Microsoft published game. Yeah, like the original Mech Warrior
The
series.
original 3 Mech Warriors and Mech Assault were all Microsoft, yes.
But technically, Microsoft isn't publishing it. You know, they just bought the exclusive rights to it.
Right. And
Oh,
now,
like-
EA is publishing it.
and now Mech Warriors
Yeah.
Online, and that's not
Yeah,
exclusive.
right.
And it's technically not exclusive. So what were you saying?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to me that Microsoft seems to have a thing for mechs. I don't know.
Is that the point you were trying
I
to
don't.
make?
Yeah, I don't know. If that's,
Oh,
It's like
the
Microsoft
original
really
point.
likes
The
mechs.
original point was. It was just an observation.
Okay.
I think they're aiming for their user base. I think they know there's no denying that Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield were some of the best-selling games on Xbox One. Even on Xbox 360, they know what they're aiming at. They know what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get that mix. Like you were saying, well, this wasn't on here, but you were saying this. It's kind of might not be a competitive game in the sense of esports and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think they're aiming at that kind of casual. They're not exactly hardcore, but like not exactly casual, but that kind of middle ground.
Yeah, I mean,
people with
you are
this.
targeting Call of Duty players. Don't even
Exactly.
try to say you are looking for Call of Duty players who want that over-the-top experience.
Yeah.
That's where there's bots in the game. I brought a friend over to play
The
Titanfall.
bots, yeah.
We'll get there in a second. But I brought a friend over to play. He's just like kind of casual. He doesn't really play much. He's mostly a PC gamer. But within 20 minutes of him playing the game, from being quiet and
Yep.
kind of whatever, he's having over-the-top spectacle. Oh my God! Look what I
Well-
just did! Moments. That's what they're looking to give people.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know me. I'm like, before I got invited to the beta, I was just like, Titanfall. And then
Yeah,
I played it,
yeah.
and I ejected out of my mech, and I was like, sold!
Yeah, oh
Yeah,
my God.
I'll give it
Rockets
this,
right
okay?
now.
I was like, I'm shooting while I'm in the air falling.
This
I mean,
is why
it's,
my voice was
I'll
hoarse.
I'll
There are
give it
6 of us
I'll
screaming
give
at
it
the top
this.
of us are
It definitely has the
freaking
cool
out.
factor.
Yeah,
This
it's got the
thing,
cool factor.
it's definitely got the cool factor, which is a lot more than I can say from like to me when I see this, it almost looks like a cross between Call of Duty and Battlefield 2142.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
But
Really
like,
a bad thing?
but
Yeah.
2142
No,
is not very good. So it's like they're almost maybe in a way doing it right. I mean, I still am a little shaky when it comes to the bot stuff, and I'm not when you look at like the number of they had what 4 maps in the beta.
We did
we have one map in the beta.
Oh, I think there was 3.
Was it
but
3?
there
I
might
don't
be
really know.
2. But there
Based
was-
on the type of game you were playing. I
Oh
think.
yeah, then there's
Yeah.
2 maps. There's 2 maps. Yeah.
So that's something we were talking about too. I mean, you can finish your point though.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm just worried about how all this is going to work within like the maps that we saw were tight. I'm just hoping it'll extend onto to the others because
Exactly.
I mean, in the way it just seems the way this game is designed, you really need to have like impeccable map setups and all that.
I mean, these guys
There's
are
map designs.
known for that. I mean, it's not like they're unskilled at
True.
doing this.
So there was the one map. I don't even remember their names, but there was the one that was kind of more like a city and more vertical, and then there was the other one that there was like a building that you could go under.
Yes, that's in Hardpoint,
Yeah.
I believe, and that
So
was
I liked the city map.
Yeah, me too.
Climbing up climbing on a roof, jumping across, shooting guys. That is cool. The other one I wasn't too big of a fan of, but it definitely allowed for more mech type fighting because it was a little bit more open.
yes.
Not as much like hiding space. But yeah, so I liked those. I have a feeling it could get boring quick unless it really throws in different modes,
I really hope not.
very maps. I would love to see a long distance map. I would love to see something that's like you want to get in your mechs and travel,
Yeah.
And I also noticed that like the minions or whatever.
The
whatever,
grunts
the
and the specters
yeah.
as well.
So they're pretty cool because they were like talking, but you had to like rush to that side of the map right away to like pick up a few points. Else you kind of, if you took your time, you're kind of in this way. And I didn't really like that. I want to kind of get my bearings and then go in, be like, okay, here's my game plan, rather than everybody rush to the middle to the first guys.
Right. Well, this is I didn't, for a while, I remember we spoke about this. We argued, why do they need bots and why do they need these filler minions? And I realized something about the experience. As I was playing the game, every single time I went too long looking for another enemy opponent that's probably going to kill me, an actual pilot, being able to waste a couple guys does make me feel a little bit better because I'm getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Because if you feel as if you're, it takes away the frustration of spawn, die, because and it does happen in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It happens in Battlefield.
Yes, it happens all the time in Call of Duty.
In Battlefield, it's actually far worse because in a room with skilled players in Battlefield, you won't make it to the middle of the map. You will get killed every single time. Call of Duty, you might get lucky and throw a grenade and kill someone.
Yeah, you toss one over.
Yeah,
and you're
but
fine.
I won't lie. In Titanfall, even the most unskilled person, like I said, I brought my friend over. He did make it in the top 3 at one point, and it's not because everyone else sucked. It's because he actually had the opportunity to fight back.
I found I was avoiding pilots.
Really?
I found I would go after. I would try to kill a pilot when I was in my Titan. If I was in a Titan, I'd be like, "You're done." But if I saw that red dot, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the minions and I'll take them out, and then maybe a guy will be with me and we can take on the pilot."
Right.
The only thing that gets at me is if like I'm playing in a match, I would hate to have it turn on like a random bot action. That's the kind of thing that would just kind of get under your skin.
I don't understand.
Yeah, what do you
mean
mean
exactly?
Like, say, like a bot like shoots something random hits you and you get wasted, right?
Yeah.
And then that basically just kind of rolls your team up and ends up ending the match. Like it in a way that kind of like, I don't know. It's one thing to lose to other players, but to have kind of the bot thing, it almost feels like to me it's almost getting in the way.
Well, I never felt threatened by a bot. Period.
Never.
I never was like, these 4 bots are gonna get me. I was like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
It was almost like I had the chance. It gave you that quick pick of euphoria.
Yeah, right.
What is it? The endorphin boost.
Yeah, you're like,
to feel
woo.
confident. Like, I'm gonna take on a pilot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get 4 headshots in a row from even a grunt, even though it would really count, you did feel good about it.
Yeah.
And confidence does come with that kind of skill. I'm sorry, I don't care how everybody says it does feel good.
I see the creeps bots as there for the casual. It's there for for when you can't kill a pilot, you just go, instead of quitting the match, I'll just go kill all the specters and grunts, and that'll help me contribute to the team.
Yeah, and you are helping the team.
Yeah.
You are helping the team. Even if you kill, if you have to wait 2 minutes for your Titan to come out there, and you put your Titan on follow mode or guard mode, and even if you die 30 times, your Titan is still on auto helping your team out. That's a win.
What did you guys think of rodeoing? Jumping on the back of the mechs.
Okay, that's the
That's fun.
Like,
It's
too
too
much
really
fun.
It's quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna brag a little bit. Honestly, I have figured out too many ways to have fun rodeoing on my own Titan, on my friends, on my team's Titans, and all the Titans. Like, once you find out how the rodeo works, you can like kind of just piggyback on a Titan and shoot rockets with your other teammate. If you can jump on a Titan just to make it a longer jump, it's just like they give you so many options. I was just like, this is weird.
The one thing I wish they had was friendly fire, because if there was a guy in the back of your Titan and you had a Titan, you could just be like, unload, and that guy's dead. And I would rather see, kind of a different way, instead of just fire at it and hit him, it'll be off kind of like a more strategic way for a teammate to get that guy off of your back.
But the only thing with doing that is that it kind of takes away from the whole like the whole entertainment over competitive factor kind of deal that they're going for, the whole just visceral experience.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, I want to ask you something, because it's something we spoke about in the past. We mentioned that the lack of single player in this game has a problem. It's not there. We know storyline is coming integrated within the multiplayer. If you're going to be selling this game to a whole bunch of people who want to play a brand new game, you do have to give them something, don't you?
You got to give them something. They're buying a $60 title.
Exactly. I mean, does this even warrant a $60 price tag to you? If I have enough friends to play, if you guys are going to tell me, Andy, we're playing day one, I'm going to get it because you guys are getting it.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. And a bunch of Xbox One users who have nothing to play forced. Right?
Well,
if they don't like Thief and they don't like Tomb Raider right now, they don't have much to play.
Yeah, well,
so they're gonna grab it. What do you
true.
think?
I mean, it's $60 for 15 maps. They're saying 16 is a bit unreasonable. Counter-Strike Go is $15, and that was a solid multiplayer experience. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed that this game costs $60. Somebody who can't afford to buy a lot of games is going to be disappointed it costs $60 because it's kind of like if you don't have internet, you can't play it. You know, if you don't have buddies playing it, it might be a little bit boring. I only know 2 people with an Xbox One. So I think
Am I one of them?
Yeah. And the other one's doing the camera right now. So the way I don't like the way I see it is I mean, I probably would rather play it with PC people, but I'll just wait. But it's not even on Steam, so I'm afraid, you know, I think it might completely go over me because $60 for a multiplayer-only game.
And you have to use Origin.
It's not a good value.
Yeah, especially when
line.
you're up against Killzone,
Yep.
all free DLC.
Amazing, all free DLC.
And
I
a
love
very,
it.
very
The
strong
Warzone is really fun.
Yeah.
Or the War Zones, they're very fun. But the point is, yeah, you paid $60 for that game. You're still getting maps. You have that full single-player experience that you can always go back to if you are, you know, God forbid, don't have internet or something like that.
Precisely.
But also, where are they going to go with this game for DLC wise? If people start complaining more maps, are they going to be free? Are they going to cost money? Is my game now going to cost $75? So that's
I'd
something to
also
consider.
like to point out that Quake Live is free.
Quake Live is free.
Live
It's
is
an
free.
arena shooter, though. It's a bit different. I mean, clearly you're paying a lot for the pretty graphics, right?
The truth is, we've just described 2 games on 2 different systems.
That's
Let's
true.
talk about the Xbox and 360 and
Yeah,
Xbox One. Is
okay.
there something in that ecosystem that does compete with Titanfall?
They don't have any first-person shooters, so
Nothing exclusive, and the only game that competes with it is Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah.
The exact demographic that wants something new right now anyway.
I would debatable. People who bought Call of Duty Ghosts, I feel like were gung-ho buy it. I didn't buy it because I was like, you know, I've had enough of Call of Duty. I want something new and interesting. People who bought Call of Duty didn't
Physics.
mind that. They were, like, fine with that. So I think that calls into kind of you're going to get both. You're going to get people who are like, oh, I played Ghosts, I put it down, and I'll grab this.
Right.
But compare it to on their ecosystem. Call of Duty's a better value.
Call of Duty is a better value than Titanfall.
It is. It is.
Well,
I
he's
mean,
got a point. Yeah.
You get more game. You get something that's established that you know what you're getting yourself
You get
into.
squads, extinction,
Yep.
co-op.
Extinction
you
is
get
awesome.
you get the story mode, which is
Yeah.
you know,
but you still get it.
Yeah,
Still,
you also
know.
get local co-op,
Uh-huh.
local multiplayer.
Yeah.
You get tournaments. You've got it. Yeah, damn.
You're
I'm kind of
arguing yourself.
I'm just like, did I just lose against myself? Wow. I guess I was having too much fun playing Titanfall. Because the truth is, you're right. I don't know how long this will go on.
Yeah.
I
The
don't know how
initial.
long
It
I'll
seems
play
like
this
the initial spectacle draws people in, but that old longevity, unless they can provide it for free, isn't going to be there.
That's definitely something that I'm thinking.
This should have just been an Xbox One exclusive game.
I completely 100%
You're right.
agree.
You are right. This should have stayed Xbox One because the PC players, as you two are the strongest PC players I know, next to my friend Jason, who's insane. Are proving such a point of why. As a PC player, I'm not going to play this game. As a 360 player, I'm also not going to play this game. But I, who have my lonely Xbox One,
one of the
have
few
no
Xbox Ones being sold.
If I want to play that system without collecting dust and just not watching Netflix, I have to play that game.
Yeah.
Because everyone else who I want to play with will be playing that as well.
Yep.
So that is the point that I think you have just made. And
Yeah.
I may have to change my mind about how much money I will spend on that experience.
Yeah, it definitely is something to consider when you're going to buy a game. Is how much is it worth? I mean, you've made that argument before. When
Yes, how much it's worth.
How much is it worth? You know, for example, the Left Behind DLC
15, right?
was 15. It's 2 hours.
Really?
I'm struggling to put this into. Oh, it was worth, but I got the season pass, so it's kind of worth.
Well,
that.
Jazz
It's
Punk
like-
was
How much was
Jazz
the
Punk
season
was
pass, I
maybe
believe, was
3
15
hours.
anyway, so I just got the free multiplayer maps,
Jazz Punk itself was
Essentially.
maybe 3 hours.
which I
when
didn't even download.
Oh, jeez. I'm not. See, I feel like that's a topic we should be talking about in the future. You know what I mean? Like, was my season pass worth it? I mean, it took me a year to get Burial at Sea.
So does this have?
I would never pay up front for a season pass or anything.
Yeah. Does this have?
And you don't know what you're being given.
I think
With it.
Borderlands proved everybody wrong about that.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Borderlands. See,
but
that
how
was
many?
the only thing I was like,
It
no
seems to
way
me
am
the
I
only-
buying that, and then I ended up buying the Necromancer, and I'm like, oh, I already spent this.
They
season
seem
pass
to be the
on it.
exception to the rule, though.
But
Like,
It
No, no,
is
no.
an exception.
Well, don't call it the exception. Let's just call it the example. Let's
Yeah.
just say, hey, maybe you can learn something from
Well-
2K.
well,
Maybe you can learn something about what it means to give the value of your game to your customers.
Yeah.
Because if I give you guys the breakdown really quick about what it's like to have an attach rate to a $60 game and how much money the company needs to make. If they have a game that costs you $60, they need at least 25% of the people who bought that first game to buy the DLC to have a successful attach rate.
Okay.
Borderlands beat that by 15%,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Not a lot of games do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see. Last of Us numbers on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see even stuff like Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, true.
What was the other game? Oh, Grand Theft Auto just had like crazy. They made crazy amounts of money on their GTA money transactions.
Oh,
But
yeah, I
the way it
forgot.
worked down is for every game they sold of Grand Theft Auto 5, that person spent $2 in the game. That's how it breaks down.
Okay.
I haven't spent any money. Have you?
No, I
haven't spent
didn't
any
know.
money.
I
So
actually,
some people have, but
embarrassingly enough, I actually was playing Grand Theft Auto. I was really tired. I was just kind of floating around, and I wandered around the city. I didn't run. I
Yeah.
walked, and I found a
I
train.
like it.
I found a
I
train
love it.
station, and then I went into the train station, into the tunnel. I was just like, where the fuck am I?
I know. I still do. I was
I was
playing this
just
weekend, and I was like, where? What? I didn't even know this existed
This
back
whole
here.
thing is just happening. I'm
There's
still,
so much-
Yeah, we can't talk about Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, there's so much. I'll go on forever.
Because okay, if you had to pick multiplayer game of the year, I'm sorry, Grand Theft Auto is really high up there.
It is a great experience. I would love to see how this plays out with or how Titanfall plays out with this DLC. If it's free, that
It
only
won't be
gives me
free.
more reason to get it later, though. That's still not a day for me to buy it day one. I don't want to buy it day one still.
And the
I
EA
have a
scare of
question. Since when does
microtransactions-
EA hand out any
microtransactions.
DLC? When does EA ever hand out DLC for free
I
for
don't
anything?
think they've.
There was the one Halo 4 map pack that sold horrendously.
You said Halo.
Yeah.
He said
EA.
Oh,
But,
okay, okay,
like
okay.
EA, like
Okay.
EA nickels and dimes its customers
I gotta admit that
just
game is
as
hurtful.
badly as Activision does. You know, I mean, if it is in the interest of the consumer, EA will not do it. They will not do it. They have proven, they said they want to be the best, be the most liked company in America. They have such a long way to
Hey,
go.
The way
they could prove it here though. They could prove it here.
They could. I
They
think they
could.
could, but the truth is, as a business point of view, they're going to say to themselves, what are we going to get about giving out free DLC?
Nothing.
Well,
Exactly.
they'll get nothing from it. They won't. They will not. I don't think they'll even see a bigger percentage of sales because, free DLC. They need to launch the crap out of this game, and I don't think they'll see an ROI on free DLC. That's how they see it. I'm not saying it's fair, but-
I'm like, because I agree,
Yeah, it's like-
I know that's how they see it, and that's why I know they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
But it's not like the customers are proving them wrong. It's not.
No, it's
mean-
not. I mean, they're customers. Like, every time, people are like, don't buy the EA game on launch because it has issues. And, this is the final chance that they have. If they screw this up, I feel like EA is done. Like, they're going to get so, like, flame word. Like, they're going to, like, not
They're gonna
Flappy
get
Bird
flame
2.0. Like,
Right after Dragon Age. It's like,
Dra-
let's have Dragon Age. Then we
oh
can
my
burn your building
God,
down to
yeah.
the ground,
Mass Effect 3. We
Yeah.
could
Mass
go on for
Effect.
days.
Alrighty, so we've spoken about the price point. The DLC, how often that should release, and of course, the one topic that I fear is microtransactions. That game could easily have them.
Well, you could see buying a gun, buying a
Buying
cool
a
mech.
Titan's gun,
Uh,
buying a cut and perk, buying burn cards. 'Cause
Burn cards,
Battlefield
buy
has
a
those-
pack of burn cards.
Right, because Battlefield has that going on right now. If you eat a Slim Jim, and all of a sudden you can grab yourself all of these,
Oh,
perks that help you out,
Lord.
like new knives.
You
I
can snap
s-
into a Slim Jim and get free stuff in Battlefield? Are you kidding?
You don't,
Yeah.
Did you really say snap into Slim? The truth is, yeah, right now there's promotions going on saying that you can just go get a Slim Jim. There's DLC codes in there to give you knives, guns, and weapons to give you a competitive edge on multiplayer.
Makes me
What's
sad.
to stop anybody from giving you burn cards that are very, very vital? I have
They are
25 burn
important.
cards
You get
built
some
up.
cool ones.
They're there. It's a good promo deal. It's not bad business. I'm sorry. Well, rather, it's not I can't say the word bad business. Is it ethical? Is it fair to give somebody else another advantage because they spent more money?
No, it's not ethical.
It's not ethical.
But business and ethics don't necessarily go together.
Yeah, it being fair, I don't think it's gonna change anybody else's. If they have the game, who's gonna complain that they could go by a Slim Jim and get this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have but it's a hard, and I hate that facet of games. I hate that exists. Like, buy Doritos and Mountain Dew and you'll get all that. Like, no.
Can we have like carrot sticks and fresh fruit? You know what I mean?
Fresh fruit.
Let's get Whole Foods in on some gaming.
Yeah.
Get Mountain Diet Double Dew.
So I feel like we're all saying right now that EA might be the reason why this game is not accepted by the community in a way.
Do you mean, okay, are we saying this game might, can this game really fail?
Okay, it's not going to fail in terms of sales numbers. What I judge a game on is, are people still playing 2 months from now? How many people are still playing 6 months from now?
Yeah.
How many people are still playing a year from now? Is there going to be a Titanfall 2 next year?
Oh,
Is there going to be a Titanfall 2 in a year?
Here's the thing, I can't see it succeeding outstandingly, but I don't think it'll fail. I
think the Xbox One is going to be okay. It'll have some group of players. I think PC will have less players than Xbox One, and I think Xbox 360 will have the most players. And I think if you have an Xbox 360 and you want Titanfall, you're not going to buy an Xbox One to play it. You're just going to play it on the system you have. You're not going to spend $560 on Titanfall.
True, because, the truth is they haven't really barred you from your 360 version. They just kind of go, well, it's here if you want it.
Yeah.
But the Xbox One version's there. They haven't really said if it's
I don't know.
better or
What's the difference?
I can't even see the difference between all three platforms.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen PC stream.
Probably higher resolution, maybe higher resolution textures or something.
I think it's 60 frames per second, 900 p for Xbox One.
Yeah.
I believe it's 720p upscale to 1080, and 30 frames per second for 360. And PC, Alex, you probably know more than I do. No, I think it's
whatever
full.
you want.
It's really, they have so many sliders in it. I made a video of just the sliders I can put online.
And I wish they had more sliders. You can't mess with the texture detail or anything like that.
Yeah.
You can't mess with any of the finer stuff. You can do basic things.
Yeah,
it's adequate.
Is that just a beta consequence, or
no? I think that's the way it's going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Well,
the way it looks.
Well, my last question is about MLG.
Mm-hmm.
And Major League Gaming and the competitive edge. As I've played this game for quite some time, it is straight up fun. I almost don't want to see a competitive side of this game because although there's some good strategies about how to go about playing that game, could this be MLG material that they can really monitor and feel? Because those bots are there, and no other MLG type game has that kind of system where there are other factors that can interrupt the competition.
That's the thing that gets me. Is the bot the bots are what I think is going to be restricted here.
If you can restrict it.
So now I've been at.
I think the bots are going to be restricted for the game's acceptance into MLG. They're not going to allow.
Well, there's creeps in League of Legends and Dota
But that's different. That's a completely different.
Well, the only way I see it that it's
functionality.
different is that creeps in League of Legends can actually kill you if you're not paying attention. Where one of these grunts in Call of Duty, it's a faction I just called it Call of Duty.
Sin.
Not a sin. It just shows you how similar they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that in Titanfall, they don't pose a threat, so I think it makes it even more to be towards the competitive scene.
Yeah, but one's a strategy game though, and one's a shooter. It's the format makes a big difference here.
Well,
I think.
so Call of Duty is a shooter. I think when they make it esports rules, if they create esports rules for Titanfall, get rid of burn cards or something like that.
Right.
I could see it existing in that form.
I don't see why Respawn can't make that kind of dedication.
They would do it. There's a button in Ghost now that you hit the button and you're only playing esports rules matches.
Yeah.
So why can't they do something like that in this?
I gotta admit, there are some things going on in the background. Those specters that fall out of the sky seem to be part of that game. I feel, and I feel like it may mess up their vision.
It may, but I wouldn't say get rid of that kind of stuff, though. I'd say keep that in there. That's part of the game. That's part of the strategy. Wow. It's part of the strategy. But it doesn't matter because, whether or not it's still pilots versus pilots or win. Nobody's going to sit there and farm grunts in a competitive setting. They're going to be hopping on their mechs and doing that. But also I feel like the mechs aren't as powerful as you feel. You know, you get in a mech and you're like, your first thing you think is, I'm going to crush everyone.
Yeah.
And then you
And you have
die
to
and
fight
you're
for
like,
your
and then
life.
you end up ejecting like 2 seconds later and you're like, well, that was a mistake.
I'm a Titan killer. Like, I actually target them more than other pilots.
It's fun. It's fun.
Like finding out ways to kill them because they're too busy fighting other Titans.
They don't know. If you hop on a roof and you're just like anti-Titan gun.
Yeah, I'm known to call my Titan and put it on follow mode, sneak around the other Titan, shoot the crap out of his back while me and my co-op partner are just hanging out.
So there is teamwork involved. I had no teamwork when I was playing.
Really?
People were just run. Some people are running, trying, but it's a beta. People are trying to get a feel for the game. I even stood and looked at a wall for like 2 minutes to check out the textures. I'm like, look at this, look at this.
I thought that was just because of your frame rate.
Yeah, right. It's probably both.
Oh man.
But yeah, I really cannot, because of the fact that it's a first-person shooter. Bots in a first-person shooter are going to have a different function than bots in, say, League of Legends or Dota.
That's true.
And it's going to have a far different effect on the gameplay dynamic. And I really do not see this game really. I think they'll try, but I don't think it's really ever going to take off competitively, because I mean there's so many other titles which competitively have a far higher kind of what do I call it, like it's the skill level is that it takes to play it is a lot higher. Like if you look at Quake, Counter-Strike, even Insurgents.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It is definitely. I mean, the low recoil kind of stuff. Right. But let's get everyone's final thoughts. We got to wrap up. Andy's, kick it off.
Okay. I will buy Titanfall in the first month if I feel like I have enough people to play that game with. Because that, for me, was a great experience with friends and made new friends. And honestly, that's how I feel. That's my final thought. I'll figure it out that way.
Excellent. Alex, what do you think? Final words on Titanfall in the beta.
You know, it surprised me. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm still worried about a number of things when it comes down to just how how the multiplayer is going to work with just 6 people. You know, there's a difference between playing it for a little while and prolonged exposure.
Yeah, definitely. My final opinion would be, go
for it.
I think it's cool. I think it's a fun game, but it is not the second coming of Modern Warfare. It isn't. It's not Call of Duty 4. It's not going to be as big. Blame it on the consoles it's on. Blame it on, whatever. But I think, bottom line, it's not going to cause much of a shift as Modern Warfare did. The original, obviously.
Unless, of course, Call of Duty screws up massively this year, then everyone will run back to Titan.
Maybe we'll try a new game. Maybe we'll try something that's not a
EA
sequel.
already tried to do the Call of Duty thing there with the last Medal of Honor game, which is quite awful.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to emulate Call of Duty.
Never happened.
It happened. It happened. Dude, it never again. Okay? Never again will we have that terrible Medal of Honor game.
Well,
never again.
We gotta wrap up. It's that time. I would like to thank all you guys from watching over on the YouTubes. I would like to thank Andy and Alex for joining me. I want to thank James and Frank for running the boards like always. Shout out to Replayed in Alston. Also, thank you very much to the Microsoft Store. I'm gonna plug their Titanfall tournament. Basically, you pick up the game at launch. The first 50 people in line are going to get an exclusive T-shirt. But also, there's going to be pre-release gameplay, over $1,000 in prizes, tons of swag. And if you pre-order Titanfall at the Microsoft Store, you get a $10 retail store gift card. So it's not too bad. Maybe you could grab one of the controllers if you get it. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's going to be a good time. I'll be here.
We will be here. Gamers R Us will be here. But make sure you check out gaming news and reviews at gamersrus.com. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the most up-to-the-minute news. I am your host, Eric RickityBeans Rubino. I want to thank everyone again. Good night, gamers.